when your Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Transfer your current IRA or 401k into approved physical gold and silver coins. No management fees, no depository fees, and you have direct physical control over your IRA because your IRA gold and silver coins will be delivered to your door with free shipping and free insurance. You can store approved coins in your safe at home or in a safety deposit box at your local bank. Augusta Precious Metals is the leader in home delivery gold IRA. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, AA from the BCA, gold and silver have been family business for over 40 years. Call 1-800-345-4IRA for our free guide to Augusta Home Delivery Gold IRA and discover how you can get up to $2,000 in silver free. If you can't, do you really own it?
And time now for the final 30 in honor of the National Spelling Bee. Starting today, we have a new state-by-state breakdown. Americans don't know how to spell.
Google tells us the most common how to spell searches, the most misspelled words in America. Beautiful and pneumonia. They hide the top word in 5 states. You can check the rest of the list and the National Spelling Bee just later today.
They left off Fifi.
That's the president's contribution.
There you go.
Pending on Twitter.
Well, thanks for joining us.
America's News Headquarters starts now.
And this is a Fox News alert. President Trump is expected to pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Change Pact. Hello, everybody. I'm Jenna Lee. That news now confirmed by Fox News sources. And it comes just days after European leaders at the G7 summit pressed Mr. Trump to stay in that agreement. The president himself saying he will announce his decision soon. Our chief White House correspondent John Roberts has doing that breaking information for us. John?
Good afternoon. We just want to point out there's a particularly noisy group of protesters outside the White House this afternoon. The Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyen Phuong Phuc will be here very soon, and they want to express their displeasure with them over several issues. So if you hear some yelling behind me, that's what's going on. Now to the task at hand here, the president on climate change. We were expecting that the president may make a decision as early as today whether or not to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord of 2015, but the president tweeted earlier this morning after seeing some of the news reports, quote, I will be announcing my decision on the Paris Accord over the next few days. Make America great again. Democrats on Capitol Hill didn't take too long before they expressed, much in the same way that the Vietnamese are in front of the White House, their displeasure with the president's potential plans to pull out of the climate accord. Quote, this is Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader. Quote, we must do all we can to protect our planet as well as our economic security. Withdrawing from Paris Agreement would put this in jeopardy. The president spent a lot of time with European leaders and with the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, last week at the G7 conference and the NATO conference. Listen to them, was said to understand their concerns. The chief economic advisor, Gary Cohn, saying that, well, the president's thinking on this has evolved. However, the president's main concern is with the U.S. economy, manufacturing, and job creation, and he is concerned that adhering to the strict protocols of the Paris Agreement would lead the United States to fall behind countries like China and India on this particular front. So the president is really weighing carefully this decision on whether or not to pull out. Here's what his press secretary said about it at the daily briefing next.
This is the subject that the president is spending a great deal of time on, and one that he spoke to the G7 members about during their meeting. Ultimately, he wants a fair deal for the American people.
Now, we hear from a couple of sources that the president is leaning towards pulling out of the deal, that he is expected to announce that. However, another White House source, high-ranking source, tells Fox News that the president might seek sort of a hybrid decision here to pull out of certain aspects of climate agreements like the Green Climate Fund, which could potentially cost the United States tens of billions of dollars over the next decade or so to stay in. But then at the same time that he pulls out the Green Climate Fund, stay within the main protocols of the climate agreement. We don't yet know what the president's final decision is. I was told by a high-ranking official here at the White House he's still mulling it over, still considering some options. But Jenna, we should hear, I think, before the end of the week what the president intends to do.
Interesting. So maybe a combination. We'll wait and see what the president has to say. Just quickly, Jack, how big of a group of protesters is out there? Because we can really picked up on your microphone.
Yeah, there's a few hundred people, and they're banging some Vietnamese musical instruments and some drums, and they've got a megaphone, and they are pretty loud. They're making a ruckus out there on Pennsylvania Avenue, no questions about it. I think that some U.S. protest groups could take a lesson from them on how to make themselves heard.
I appreciate you telling us a little bit about it, because we'd be wondering, and we really can hear it. John, thank you very much. Great to have you on the program as always. More from John at the White House as we get it. In the meantime, Chris Plant is the syndicated radio talk show host. Joe Trippi manages Howard Dean's 2004 presidential campaign and is a Fox News contributor. So let's talk a little bit about this Paris Climate Agreement. I have a confession tonight. I never once at dinner in casual conversation brought up the Paris Climate Agreement. I'm sure a lot of the viewers haven't either. And so there is the agreement and what it stands for, which we're going to talk a little bit about, but also the symbolism of it. And so let's take the symbolism of it first, Joe. Why is it significant?
Well, it's an agreement that nearly 200 countries around the world have agreed to. In fact, there's only two countries that have it, Syria and Nicaragua. And it's setting up, so the United States will be joining those two countries if Trump, actually President Trump pulled out of it. But what it does is it's an agreement for certain goals in terms of keeping climate change, global warming down between all 194 countries. And each country has to come up with its own policies to meet those goals, and those policies are non-binding. In other words, Donald Trump, if he wanted to change Barack Obama's policies in order to still try to meet those goals, he can do that without leaving the agreement. It'd be interesting to see if he tries to fashion that kind of compromise from
Well, I'm curious about what John Roberts' report says, Chris, that maybe it's not a complete pull out of this particular agreement, or maybe it is a pull out of this agreement, but there's a combination of different policy that we see in other agreements. How do you see it, and what the significance is to
Well, there's a great deal of significance. Most of the agreement is symbolic, as Joe said. Most of it is non-binding. It will not bind the Chinese. It will not bind India. It will not bind the Russians. And as for Nicaragua and Syria, I'm not sure they're making major contributions to global warming in any event. But when it comes to the impact that it has on us, according to the Heritage Foundation, just last year, analysis of the impact it would have on us, it would take $2.5 trillion out of our economy. It would cost us 400,000 jobs. It would mean an additional $20,000 per year per family out of their pockets to be in compliance with the aspirational goals, which will allegedly slow the rise of the ocean.
If I could jump in there, because we actually have some of those numbers from the Heritage Foundation, because we wanted to show this to our viewers. Joe, I'm curious your thoughts on this. Again, President Trump ran as a jobs president, and when we see some of these numbers about the estimated amount of jobs lost and also the lost income for an average family of four, what's the argument to stay in this particular agreement at this time?
Well, I mean, the argument is that, as Chris pointed out, it's all non-binding. So if these policies